the life of Pope Francis, whose real name was George Mario Bergoglio. George Mario Bergoglio was born on December 17, 1936, in Buenos Aires. He grew up in Barrio de Flores, a working-class neighborhood. His father was a railway worker, his mother a homemaker. As a youth, the Pope studied in public schools and in high school obtained a technical certification as a chemist. From a young age, he knew he would become a priest. Then, when the Pope was 21, he became gravely ill with severe pneumonia and had his right lung partially removed. This has not affected his health or his life, however. In 1958, George entered the novitiate of the Society of Jesus, and 2 years later he took his first vows as a Jesuit. In 1963, on returning to Buenos Aires, he studied philosophy at San Miguel Seminary. Between 1964 and 1965, he taught literature and psychology at a Jesuit secondary school in Santa Fe, Argentina, and in 1966 he taught at the prestigious Colegio del Salvador Secondary School in Buenos Aires. In 1967, he returned to his theological studies and was ordained a priest on December 13, 1969. After his perpetual profession as a Jesuit in 1973, he became Master of Novices at Miguel. In 1967, he returned to his theological studies and was ordained a priest on December 13, 1969. After his perpetual profession as a Jesuit in 1973, he became Master of Novices at San Miguel. Later that same year, he was elected Superior of the Jesuit province of Argentina and Uruguay. From 1979 to 1985, Father George served as a rector and theology teacher at Colegio Maximo before completing his doctoral thesis in German. In 1992, Father George was appointed Auxiliary Bishop of Buenos Aires. He was one of the 3 auxiliaries and spent most of his time caring for the Catholic University, counseling priests and preaching and hearing confessions. On June 3, 1997, Bishop Bergoglio was named Coadjutor Archbishop. He was installed as the new Archbishop of Buenos Aires on February 28, 1998. As Archbishop, he was known simply as Father George, and he held the attitude that the church belongs in the street. He built chapels and missions in poor areas and sent seminarians to serve them. He spoke out often against injustice, such as the treatment of migrant workers from neighboring countries, and against social issues such as abortion and same-sex marriage. In 2001, Bishop Bergoglio was elevated to cardinal, and later that year he served as an official of the Synod of Bishops at the Vatican. The same year, Cardinal Bergoglio began a 6-year term as head of the Argentina Bishops' Conference. He was installed as our new Pope on March 19, 2013, the feast of St. Joseph, and chose the title of Pope Francis I. Pope Francis formally began his ministry as Bishop of Rome and as a Pope by pledging to protect the Catholic Church, the dignity of each person, and the beauty of creation, just like St. Joseph protected Mary and Jesus. And I quote, "We must not be afraid of goodness or of tenderness." End of quote. Pope Francis said. The fisherman's ring he chose to wear is made of gold-plated silver and is based on the same design of a purple ring handed down from Pope Paul VI, his personal secretary. It shows an image of St. Peter holding the two keys. One key represents the power in heaven, and the other indicates the spiritual authority of the papacy on earth. The ring represents the Pope's role as a fisher of men. The pallium Pope Francis received during the Mass was the same one Pope Benedict XVI used, a short woolen band that the retired Pope reintroduced in 2008, and similar to the kind worn by Blessed John Paul II. It is worn over the shoulder and has a 12-inch long strip hanging down the front and the back. The papal motto, like his episcopal one, is the Latin phrase miserando atque erigendo, which means because he saw him through the eyes of mercy and chose him. Or, more simply, having mercy, he called him. Finally, Pope Francis died on the 21st of April 2025 on Easter Monday. Pope Francis has died, his voice is gone, but it still echoes. He brought the church closer to the people, especially the poor and marginalized in society.